2.5 years ago, I almost killed myself. I was depressed, anxious, I was lonely, I was very just dark. I had a very dark countenance to myself and I was just not happy. I was so miserable. I didn't want to live anymore. I hated my job. I was working 70 hours a week. I was working every single day, 12 hours a day, a lot of times for 2, 3, 4 weeks straight on a job that I kind of hated, to be honest, and it was a service job. I felt no purpose in life, no fulfillment, no reason. I would come home from this job at any time at night. Sometimes it was 11 p.m., sometimes it was 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. even. I'd pull into my driveway after work and just sit in my car, completely paralyzed and unable to actually get out and go to bed and go to my... I was unable to. I couldn't. I was so miserable. I was so just sad that my life turned out this way, and that 5-year-old me, 6-year-old me, that I crushed this guy's dreams. I crushed this guy's dreams. The life that he thought he was gonna live, that he was gonna get married and have children, and he was gonna have a happy life and a good job, and he was gonna have a house, and he was gonna live a good life, a purposeful life, a meaningful life, and like this conventional life that we all kind of like dream of as kids that we think we're gonna live. As kids, we never think we're gonna build addictions. We never think we're gonna fall into habits that are bad for us, that are destroying our life. We never thought that there was going to be literal demonic entities that are trying to destroy our life on an everyday basis. We never thought that we would be depressed and anxious and miserable and literally like anxious to go to the bank to, for whatever reason, anxious to go and call a restaurant and order food or make any kind of phone call, like, and to be stressed and overwhelmed all the time and mentally fatigued and brain fog and just overwhelmed, overstimulated. We never thought as a 5-year-old that this would be our future. We never thought that this would be our life. I spent a lot of nights in this car after work, middle of the night, just sitting there wondering if there's more for me out there, if there's actually like a purpose, if there's actually like a meaning as to why I'm even existed. What am I supposed to do? What is my contribution? How can I actually be of like use to anybody on this planet? Why am I so useless? Where's my meaning to life? Where's my purpose? Why am I here? I would cry many nights, and there was a couple nights in particular. There was one night where I took this knife and almost ended my life. I almost did it. Something stopped me, but I almost did it. And if I did it, I would have never met the best people in my life. I would have never met my future wife. I would have never been saved by God and actually find out that he's real and start having a relationship with him and start like feeling his attributes, because God is the source of everything good. God is the source of all the good attributes like peace, love, joy, contentment, purity, innocence, honesty, truth. These things that we love, self-discipline, self-confidence, just like these kind of things, these attributes, these like things that we all want to feel in life. I felt more of that. I felt all those things to the extreme when I found God and I like had a relationship with him and I prayed to him and I found out he was real and he showed himself to me, and I just sought him out and I prayed and I like lived for him. I lived for him. I read the Bible for like 6, 7, 8 hours a day, and I felt so fulfilled, so like this is what I was looking for my entire life. Oh my goodness, I can't be doing this so early on in the video, man. Excuse me, boys. This changed my life. This changed my life so much, and I don't know how else to describe that to you. Like, you're watching this video right now, and I don't know how else to get this across to you, that like, God is real. God saved my life. He can save your life too. You don't think he can. You think he's a mean God, or he doesn't want to have a relationship with you. He doesn't love you. Dude, I felt the same exact way. I was in my car. You know the negative thought. You've been in that depressive mode before. You've been in that depressive state of existence. You know the negative thoughts you get, the self-deprecating thoughts. I didn't think God could love me. I didn't think anything could love me on this planet or outside this planet, and yet I experienced his love. I probably sound like a hippie right now, but I'm serious. I felt his love. I experienced it, and I lived this life for him because he saved my life. So now I continue to live in his way so that I can also, well, continue to feel this way, but also love him, show him that I'm thankful in any way that I can that will never measure up to him, but like just show him gratitude for what he's done for my life and how he saved my life from ending my life, but also making me feel these good habits, these good like feelings again. Confidence, mental clarity, peace, love, joy, contentment, happiness, being able to look at the trees and like find gratitude and happiness just because there's trees around me. My baseline happiness level is so much better now that I have God and I have self-improvement. So I want to go and continue on my story, because that's not all. It wasn't just, oh, I found God and he saved my life. Oh, and say the sinner's prayer, say, oh, Jesus Christ, come into my heart, and you'll be actually better in this lifetime. Because I want to get something across to you really quickly here. Even if you genuinely come to God and you have faith in God, you will have what they call a born again experience, which you might feel like a lot of like heightened like emotions and heightened love from God, heightened peace from God. These attributes kind of come down on you a little bit, like for a moment, but then you continue to live your life in sin. You continue to live your life in darkness. You continue to live that same way that you lived before your experience. And if nothing changes, if you don't stop the dark habits, the tiniest habits you do that are bringing you away from God and that aren't of the natural order to life, things that are just not good, these habits that are not good, even the smallest ones, if you continue to do them, then you're not going to feel this anymore. You're going to feel lower and lower. You're going to get lower and lower and lower until your mental health, your physical health, your spiritual health is bad again. And you're miserable and you're wondering why you have God, but you're so sad and miserable and depressed and anxious because you never really lived up to that standard. Never really lived up to what God called you out of, because there's a cost. There's a cost to everything. So you have to live up to that standard. And so a lot of Christians, they find God and they're devoted to God, but then they have this lifestyle of addiction, this lifestyle of bad habits, this lifestyle of things that aren't of the natural order to life, and they don't know how to solve it. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know how to do better. They don't know how to have discipline. It's not even the fact that they don't have discipline or they have no urge to resolve these problems, these addictions, these habits. It's not even just that, but a lot of times people just don't know. People don't know that they're addicted. People don't know that this tiny little thing they're doing, like cussing, for example, and hurting other people and driving recklessly, they don't actually know that these weird little habits that aren't in the Bible and are actually destroying your life. That eating junk food, eating something with seed oils and sugar in it actually does. It's not a sin per se. It's not in the Bible. Don't eat Kit Kats. Don't eat Reese's. Don't eat McDonald's. It doesn't say that in the Bible, but those things destroy your life. They separate you from God because they're hurting you physically, which then affects you mentally and spiritually as well. They affect you mentally because they give you brain fog, and they affect you spiritually because if you have brain fog, you're not going to go pray to God. If you feel bad in your own body, you're not going to go pray to God. You're going to be ashamed. You're going to feel bad. You're going to want to go do another bad habit. If you're already eating junk food, you're going to want to go watch a YouTube video. You're going to want to go doom scroll. You're going to want to go watch porn after. You're going to be more likely to do these bad things if you do this one bad thing. And so you're not going to pray to God. So in that way, for example, McDonald's destroys your relationship with God and makes you depressed and miserable. I say all this to say that there's more to the story. That have to live this life out. You can't just say, oh, I accept God into my life. Sure, you might still be saved at the end of the day. You might still go to heaven when you die. But don't you want to live this life out? But don't you want to accept this free will that God's given you and live this life out and help people and do better and be a light to other people and to be a good influence, to make an impact in this world and to be better for yourself and for other people? To be better for your future wife, future kids, future friends, clients? Don't you want to be better for them? And so this is a real thing. We can't just sabotage this area of our life. We can't just sabotage our life because we're going to go to heaven one day. We have to improve ourselves as humans, as souls, right here, right now. And so in my story, before I found God, I was going to church late 2021. My friend, he invited me to church. God worked through him to get me to go to church, which is kind of funny. He was my childhood best friend. So I was kind of casually going, but I didn't get any, I didn't understand it. I didn't understand the concept. I was raised Muslim, so I didn't understand any of it. And it all just seemed weird to me. It didn't resonate in my heart. At this point in time, I was starting to get on self-improvement. Around mid 2022, I got hardcore in self-improvement. I found people like Hamza and this self-improvement space. In 2022, I got more into the mental health, physical health, spiritual health side of it, actually improving your life. And I found Hamza. Hamza's a self-improvement YouTuber that made content on how to improve that area of your life, the mental health and physical health part specifically. And now he's more into the financial stuff, which is great. Build a business, become financially free. That's all amazing things. But I really want to hone in on these things because physical health, mental health, these things are so important for our spiritual health and our relationship with God and actually feeling like we're close to God. And in that way, it's selfless because then we get to help other people better. We get to be a light to other people better. We get to influence other people in a good way. So we have to do this for other people, not just ourselves. And so I found self-improvement and I was like, oh, great. Red pill, eat 6 eggs a day, no junk food, no seed oils, go to the gym. So I started kind of doing these habits. I would meditate for 5 minutes a day. And this helped me build my attention span. It helped me build my discipline, my willpower, my motivation, my love for the hard things, the hard habits, the discipline. Because if you do more discipline and more hard things, you're going to actually build a love for them as long as there's less of the bad things. So to reword that, if you have less of the bad habits and the bad addictions, you tone those down, you do more of the discipline and the healthy things, the good things for us, then you're going to actually be more addicted and more in love with the hard things in life. And so that was where I was at late 2022, early 2023. I was hardcore in self-improvement, fixing my life, meditating every day, journaling, going to the gym, running, cardio, just improving drastically my physical and my mental health. Now in 2023, in January, February period, I became homeless and I was living in this car and I had nobody, I was alone, I had no purpose in life, no meaning in life, and I started falling off the habits and I just didn't know what to do. I was still kind of going to the gym, I was still kind of eating healthy, I was still kind of doing these things, meditating, because I didn't have like dopamine, I didn't have doom scrolling, I was never on my phone, I was homeless, and I was just alone right here, right now with myself a lot of the times. And so I was alone and I was like, man, like I have no purpose, I have no meaning, I don't know what to do with my life, I'm lost, I'm stuck. And so there was one night I was in my car laying here, actually laying in the back, I was getting ready for bed. I cried out to God, I was like, God, I can't do this anymore, are you real? Like along those lines. Of course I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was like, God, are you real? If you're real, Lord, like Jesus, if you're real, please help me. Please come into my heart. Please like save me. Please, like, I want to feel your presence. I want you. Like, I want you, Lord. I want you, God. At this point, I've been going to church for over a year and I have some kind of experience with Christianity. And I kind of had a feeling that Jesus might be the way. But at this point, I put full trust in this God. And I basically said to myself that if nothing changes, if nothing changes in my life, I'm gonna end my life because I have no purpose, I have no meaning, I was lost, I had nobody, I might as well end my life. And so at this point I cried out to this God and instantly I felt this rush of peace, love, joy, contentment, all these amazing attributes. I felt them so strongly, like I felt like I was in heaven for about 5 minutes honestly. And after that day, like, yes, there was a sanctification process, but it was so much easier to feel close to God. Of course, because I was homeless and I had no stimulation, it became very easy in this lifestyle where I was homeless to actually like live a life of being close to God because there's no other voices, no other distractions, no other responsibilities to worry about and anxiety. So of course I was really close to God because of that, but that's not realistic. We can't live that life. We have responsibilities, we have anxieties, we have stresses, we have things to worry about, we have things to do in life. We can't just live a life by ourselves in the forest. As amazing and close to God as that would be, and spiritual as that would be, we just can't do that long term for our lives. And so at this time I was always so close to God because I understood that if I go to the gym, some way or fashion, it will get me closer to God and I will feel more of God's attributes. Because if you're closer to God, you're going to feel the peace, love, joy, contentment, purity, innocence. You're going to feel these things more because you're closer to God, and God is the source of these emotions, these feelings, these things. So I'll feel more of that if I go to the gym because it's discipline, it's pushing your body to its limits, it's improving your mind, improving your body. If I pray, I know I'll be closer to God because, well, it's a relationship with him. I know that if I meditate for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I'll be closer to God because I'm improving my attention span, and improving my attention span is improving my ability to pray to him and talk to him, and then lowering my risk for falling into like a doom scrolling addiction or porn addiction because I'm just less stimulated, I'm less overwhelmed all the time, so I'm more mentally clear to actually pray and have a relationship with God. So these things all changed my life, these self-improvement things I learned on self-improvement. The only thing is now you do it for God and you do it to help other people. You do it for a selfless reason, just as Christ died for us to help us have eternal life and to be close to God again, to like bridge the gap between us and God. Jesus did that for us. He suffered on the cross for us, which is insane. So in some little tiny sense of that, you start building a humbleness and a reason to self-improve, but to not do it for your own selfish gain and for your own, like almost making yourself to be God kind of thing, but to do it for God, do it for God's people and to help and to achieve his purpose in life. Now, as soon as I found God, I found my purpose in life, I found my fulfillment, and of course, God is my main purpose. God is my main fulfillment, my main reason for living. But he gave me a purpose to follow, a purpose to chase every day. So now I wake up at 5 a.m. every morning and actually want to go and do work. I actually want to go for a run. I actually want to go to the gym. I actually want to go and spend 2 hours recording videos in the morning because this is my purpose. And I have God behind that. And I have the habits that are helping me chase that, which helps me chase God. So like these habits that I got from self-improvement helps me do that. And so that's my story basically, is I fixed my life. I was depressed, anxious, miserable, and God saved my life, but also I fixed my life first. And basically having the knowledge of these good things, these good habits, and these self-improvement things helped me with my relationship with God and chasing God and essentially just living this life out for myself. Helped me a lot get closer to God, helped me chase his attributes and chase him a lot more clear, and it helped me avoid addictions, avoid falling away and falling into porn addictions and other addictions and just bad things. It helps me with that. Of course, life gets crazy, things happen, but if you have God and you actually chase God's attributes and you chase the godly habits and the godly disciplines and the things that will help you get closer to God, like meditation, prayer, eating healthy, these things, if you chase them, then you're gonna have a good life. I'm so happy. Like I talk about this a lot, but I stare at the trees, I stare at the sky, and I'm just happy. I'm grateful all the time. Imagine your baseline happiness level is so high that you're just happy and you're smiling all the time. Like I love who I am. I love that I have God. I'm so happy. The only time I ever feel bad is if I, of course, fall away or do something like eat an unhealthy meal or not pray for a day, then yeah, I feel bad. But like also the only time I ever feel bad is if I'm not chasing this purpose, because this is my reason. This is my reason, is to make these videos and to help you guys and to tell you guys the truth. And so with that being said, I'm running out of time for this video. I have to go to church. I'm going to be late. So I didn't really calculate the time too well. I wanted to go on a little longer, but I love you all. If you want to join a community of like-minded people who are also on self-improvement and also trying to chase God and to kind of improve their life, but also chase God in the midst of that, and just normal people that are trying to chase God and to improve their life and to do better for themselves and fix their life and to not be so sad and depressed and miserable and anxious all the time, but actually have more of this life that I experience. If you want to join a community where that's possible for you and you can make friends with other people who are in the same boat as you, consider joining the Discord link in the description below. I love you all. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.